Hey there, welcome to Carcassonne. It's again with a Champions League doubleheader. First off, we have Nallerheim LazyBore, and in about an hour, if the first match is done by then RBG versus Santiblader. If not, I hope I remember to open a second window at least, and then maybe catch the remaining games of the second match. So first off, we have Nallerheim, of course, operating 860 something. I don't know, 13,000. Yeah, almost 14,000 games of Carcassonne played on BGA. And then on the other side of the table will be LazyBore from UK with 7K games of experience. Not a master yet, operating in the upper 600s. So definitely today's underdog. Contrary though, LazyBore currently resides in 5th place versus Nallerheim being in 11th. And the Boar by now has quite a strong tiebreaker. So even with a loss today, he definitely would still have a chance to reach the playoffs versus Complex DNH in round 5 of this league stage. Nallerheim will also be the favorite in round 5. So yeah, still the same. Shouldn't lose, of course, today, winning almost, sweeping this game today, this match today. Would quite likely see him reach the playoffs, but even with a loss, he'd still have a chance next week to secure a round of 24 ticket. So let's check. Oh, they have already started. They are playing tournament mode, so 15 mins per player per game. Hey Vika, hey Kyrillo, hey Small Red Van. And let's go here. I've changed these colors a bit. Let me know if that works for you, or if the blue border is a tad dark. Yeah, normal moves so far. Nothing extraordinary, as was to expected. Both know their stuff after thousands of games, of course. Otto took this one, not the bottom one, quite likely due to the dagger asymmetry here. So stuff like this, then going for a restriction from the bottom actually works, whereas doing the same on the other side would give still 3 daggers to blue to close that city. And blue tries to take away some options from yellow by pressuring this square. Right now, he has to think about these two moves quite likely. No, he's blue. Not the greatest fan of this one. On the other hand, it doesn't do a lot either. And especially this road thing over here could later lead to something like that. And therefore, this I actually like, trying to unite all these roads here into a 10-pointer. First monastery for the Finn. I would expect it to land up top, just to pressure the square, but he goes for this one, and this seems fine as well. Quite likely even way better, because this here is blue's most promising feature. And Yeah, we'll see. So blue defends by bending their city into the square next to yellow's monastery, which sometimes works great if you manage to draw a cap before yellow gets to attack or harass your city. On the other hand, one of these daggers is already gone, so could turn problematic quite fast. But blue was able to thwart yellow's idea of restriction or attack. And quite likely, Nallerheim would have loved to restrict this, but would have been hesitant to attack here because this would create huge problems for his monastery, as blue could either kill or attack the shared city then. Hey Volker, by now I know your nickname. The VH YouTube part. Yeah, so Otto prevented any problems for the square, got the monk back, and if he manages to close that city, quite likely will drop the farmer as well if blue doesn't do this earlier. For now, as blue, they might consider this one. Yeah, without the meeple, as 3 crossroads are gone, so limitations over here, plus the option to limit the top road at the left side as well, weren't really things they'd like, and therefore they just leave this out here, hoping to restrict this and later connect on the right side, which does not work as they hoped it would. And in the meantime, yellow took this field. Blue creates this monastery, also another option to attack yellow city. One was present, now they got 2 ways to attack, or at least prevent an easy diamond-shaped city by Otto there. This splitter is interesting. He could try to restrict this. Don't expect him to add this. On the other hand, he could also just claim the 7 points, so 4 for the city, 3 for the field, while also dumping another cap there, which might very well form another city that should end up on his field as well. I'm not convinced this here works in the long term, as, yeah, for sure, now you have the chance to get this road meeple back before the monasteries, but then you'd give yellow one option to restrict this here. So I'd rather build it up this way, then at least the top left monastery would be relatively safe, whereas this square here would be a bit problematic, but as it stands now, except for the roses, all other limitations definitely be not that severe. And of course, Otto snatched this monastery square, controlling both this road part and the right monastery of blue. So for now, this looks like yellow will run away with this one. They even threaten blue's most promising feature, As both splitters are gone, I would expect Otto to just go here. Don't think he will consider the restriction. And he doesn't not even need to connect there, as long as he prevents blue from taking over this possible shared city. All will be fine for the yellow player in this game here. Okay, blue takes 2 points there, which should work. I mean, the worst restriction would be a limitation to the dagger, as one is already gone. There are still 3 crossroads left, so any road from the top would still leave 3 to close that one. And then there's also still the option to just unite the roads, and then any limitation over here would be to yellow's detriment. So let's see, and Otto can't really play against this square, else he would give up this option, which could result into maybe stuff like that here. So it's definitely a double-edged sword to limit this square, but he does it nonetheless. And now I would expect blue to combine these two. At least that would make the most sense to me in this situation. But blue goes for the restriction. Not convinced this is the right choice here, though. Because basically with a crossroad, yellow gets a meeple back, but blue doesn't. And then yellow wins the mini battle versus blue's road, while they also still have control over this square and with this over this monastery. And then there is this here, which could have led to problems for blue. But maybe he did go there to set up stuff like that, try and take over the city, albeit with a slim chances, as 4 field Doritos are gone, so there is only 1 piece left to connect here. So by now blue is down 17. Yellow's field is 9 points. So likely we'll see farmers somewhere trying to attack this one. And then blue needs meeples back, and this monk here needs only 1 tile to see blue's bench again. Okay, 1 option to attack, which would have been this one, just taken away by yellow. Blue might try this here. There's not a great need to save this, but I could consider this, but I actually wouldn't. Okay, with the meeple might work, and I think that's what Kirillo mentions as well. And then there would be options to harass Yellow City as well, trying to restrict, kill the square. Yeah, maybe just up top. going for the curve to liberate blue's monastery, while yellow still needs the crossroad here. And also not leaving this cap empty, which would be the case at the bottom. We'll see which of these, or maybe even another move, blue opts for. Yeah, if I had to decide, I would take this one. There are still 5 tiles to connect. Get you the meeple back. And if this connects, it gain these 7 points as well, which might force yellow to re-attack somewhere, maybe then over here or on the left side. Of course, this would also be possible. But the main goal would be to force yellow to invest their currently last meeple in hand. Yeah, LazyBore thinks a long time. Yeah, but it's still their turn. I mean, it's maybe a crucial decision, but is it that crucial that you need to take 3 minutes to think about it? I mean, just thinking that there are enough options to attack the field later. This one here is just great for now. Get this here, liberate the monk with tempo by doing something else as well. Also, you bring this the right monk closer to completion. But the clock just runs down. Just hope he doesn't have any connection problems. And we still have 50 moves to go for him. And given this field here, given Nallerheim's lead, there might be even more complicated situations arising in the future. And here we go. Finally, he opts for this one. Still 4 curves left after yellow got one. Okay. Köhler thinks it might be psycho pressure. Okay. I mean, can't really do trash talk, right? So why not let Otto sit and wait? But still, 3, maybe 4 minutes. I hadn't looked at LazyBore's clock before this turn. Just to, in the end, do this move, I don't know. So his problem, though, then is he only has the 1 meeple in hand, so can't really justify a field attack. Has to live with quick points for now until he gets one of these monasteries liberated. But taking away one of the prime attacking options against this field, I'm sorry, that can't be the right move. There are 2 points over here. Yeah, sure, in some cases, this would allow someone to snatch a road here, but you might be this someone, so why not set this up? Take the 2 points here. Next straight, you go here, you take 6 points, and then you'd still have other options to attack the field. Yeah, and looks like Kyrillo concurs as well. So here we go. Blue connects. Left of, yeah, right. Okay, this one is even better because if you then attack here, this square is protected, at least a bit. So that basically only the dagger would do a meaningful restriction over here, limiting this connection to the remaining starting tile. Yeah, and in the meantime, yellow gets 2 caps, closes their city, at least. Best news for blue, no shield here, so only 10 points. Now they are down 12 points after they took over this ruin, and it is a ruin. This square is dead, all 3 roses are already on the board. And now blue should attack the field. There's no road monastery left, so the ultimate roll of a dice doesn't work. Yeah, exactly. There is no spot now. How lovely it would be to use this one. We'd have 3 straights here. In addition, the starting tile, crossroads at the left side. Now you have to think however you'd like to go here, which would still work, would also still work this way around. But he opts to go for points, creates another option, which is nice as well, actually, because then you could connect with tempo, also giving you a 7-point road there. Oh yeah, and another option is this here, which Kyrillo mentioned, attacking through the crossroad. We see there's also this one with curves, but yellow adds an insurance farmer. No, it doesn't. He attacks the road, but of course takes away the option to attack here. Looks like this was good enough for Otto. Yeah, Lazy adds another twin caps to his city. First one was snatched by yellow. He's still down 12, so we'll see whether this works or not. Would expect Otto to liberate this meeple now. Instead, he takes the points, and actually that seems to be the correct move, because now whenever blue gets a meeple back here, yellow would as well. But then blue still would have the chance to attack here if he liberates this one. Or the monk, for that matter. Or this road meeple. So I wouldn't expect Otto to connect now, because he definitely wants to keep blue at 0 meeples as long as possible. So he quite likely... What? I'm not convinced these 2 points yellow just gained were worth this. Worth the risk of an immediate field attack. And now it's the Finn who has connection trouble. Meanwhile, LazyBore is below 2 minutes on the clock with 8 moves left. Cutting it close. Yeah, will he release meeples or will he attack the field now? He goes for this attack. Okay. Otto scores more points, which then sees him take a 19-point lead, now 16 points. So yeah, he will take 4 points, and that should be it, unless blue manages to take over the field. So needs this connection to happen and another one as well. But even then, it seems likely that yellow will just outscore them. Not a fan, because there's still a quad city out there, and now there's no place to dump it. Whereas this one would have forced yellow to dump the quad city on blue's ruin. And if the quad city can't be dumped anywhere, then blue just loses a move. So that's... I don't get this. Definitely a huge mistake. Don't need to take away options from yellow to attack the city. Yellow doesn't need to attack this. Yeah. So insurance farmer by yellow, which also has this likely connection, this unlikely one, but if that unlikely one were to happen, it wouldn't matter, because then the square in the middle, which is blue's connection, would be dead as well. So we'll see whether Otto just dumps this. Where could he dump this so the quad doesn't fit well over here? But don't think he will do this one. Yeah, and the problem for blue is he actually might need these points, and forcing your opponent to waste the move for -2. I mean, what's better than that in this circumstance here? Okay, 6 points for yellow on top, and here we go. Quite likely wouldn't have worked out for blue, but still one connection works. There is still one straight left for yellow to reconnect. But it doesn't even matter. Yellow has plus 15. Even if blue finds something I can't, which would be a second spot to still take over yellow's, well, the shared 12-point field, it would still be not enough. Exactly 3 points shy, then plus anything or minus anything, these two would still score on the last two moves. Yeah, Otto might just claim these 3 points to get a meeple back. The third meeple in blue's hands won't do any good. Oh, he takes the 6-point field. That's fine as well. Yeah. Shame. And there were quite a lot of good moves by yellow, but a few very questionable ones by blue. For example, this crossroads here. Else they could have had a better shot in the end here. Okay, a tad nicer cards or tiles rather for Nallerheim, but don't think this was game deciding here to draw more caps than your opponent. So the favorite wins the first one. We'll see about the second. In the end, 12 points only. So with a few moves played slightly differently, LazyBore could have won this one. I'm pretty sure the cards would have allowed this. So after 5 non-city tiles, yellow finally was able to claim the city cap, but gets immediately re-attacked. And their approach trying to create a bigger city by getting a triple here is immediately thwarted by blue. They harass and attack at the same time. Here we go. Annoying for yellow, but it is what it is. They have to dump the quad somewhere, which gives blue the perfect connection, not giving easy options for yellow to re-attack here, which would have been the case with the Dorito. But yellow doesn't give up easily. Yeah, this one is interesting. You could go for a rather desperate move, but you could also play it safe, and that's what Nallerheim did, which still allows options to attack this city, but it doesn't give options to immediately kill a square. This is a road from any complications next to blue's monastery. Blue saves his road as well. should meeple the city. It's shielded, so why not just don't allow yellow to take it over here and then harass your road as well. With 4 meeples in hand, there's no reason to not meeple this one. Sure, you might need to wait before this here closes, but actually there are still 3 starting tiles and 3 crossroads left. So as long as your city doesn't get entangled over here as well, it's actually no problem at all to take that one. We'll see. Now they should do this. Yeah, looks like BGA just didn't show the meeple. Okay, then it's all good. Second monastery for yellow. Blue opts to close the road over here, which is fine. They could have also taken the 3 points here and leave this open just to continue this, maybe. But then it would have been more likely that yellow would have harassed on this square, which isn't ideal if you have the monastery square or the square next to the monastery in a diagonal formation. So blue plays it a bit safer, hoping to draw a straight or crossroad here, and quite likely will now liberate this road meeple while adding another point, basically, because a straight over here scores 1 point less than this crossroad, plus the meeple does. It gives few options to yellow. For immediate city attack, doesn't work out for them. They just get an extender. Yeah, yellow really would love preferably a Dorito, maybe even a triple city tile to attack this shared city, but they just don't get one. Only caps, extenders, road pieces, monasteries, no Doritos or big city tiles. And he even closes this one. Doesn't go for the 3-pointer here because that would endanger this square, which is shared by these 3 monasteries, so impacting yellow way more than blue. And oh yeah, yellow could have gone for this attack as well. They opted not to. Not actually sure why not. Because sure, once blue connects, this square could be killed immediately, but at least it would be a pretty sizable ruin. Currently, the right side is worth 8 points. That's nothing to sneeze at. This board here. On the other hand, there are still so many city caps out there that it's likely that someone will create an interesting field somewhere, maybe up top. Maybe this one here will expand later. Yeah, blue. Connect or not? Would you rather wait for a horse? So in some cases, yellow can't kill this, or not as easily as they would if you connect with this cow. I mean, they have another option. Yep, but there's the kill. They have to what, Kyrillo? Connect? I don't think he had to. I mean, there are still 3 horses out there, so even if yellow goes here with something, you could still, some cases, even save this square and this one. And there are still tiles out there to close the city on the right side. Okay, so yeah, that would be annoying. But I don't think that this move here for blue would have been bad. Still 4 Doritos out there, plus the splitter. But the question is, would it be worth their while waiting for a horse just to have a better shot at not getting killed immediately? I mean, waiting over here also creates interesting decisions for yellow's small city there. Yeah, it's 9 points, but still, it's okay. The problem is this doesn't work, and right now it looks like it won't. Then not going for the right one could turn out to be the game-deciding decision. Yeah, but restricting this one would not have been easy. Yeah, with this permutation, Kyrillo is right, of course. Blue couldn't have done anything about this with the twin caps. This would have led to more or less the identical situation, just with both blue meeples still being implicated. Bottom line, though, blue is up by 14 points. There is still a juicy monastery spot available. And whoever will get that one definitely have a nice advantage here. Blue rolls the dice, doesn't set up another city, just hopes to outdraw yellow, but no luck there. Yellow immediately takes away caps from closing that city. Blue's response is, well, more or less the same, harassing yellow's monastery, leaving only 2 options to go there. And in the end, if necessary, yellow might even attack this. For now, he starts to create a field up top. Just thinks about which one to continue with, and I mean, there are enough caps to close this city immediately. So maybe just the safer option should be it. Yeah, not to make big features. This here quite likely will become an interesting field. And then the question will be whether blue preempts a yellow field there or not, and yellow even opts to immediately attack blue's city. I mean, it's worth 11 points, so yeah, why not? On the other hand, I think this tile is so lucrative, I'd rather add it to one of my cities and go for this here later. Yeah. By the way, 11 minus 3, so if yellow connects, it's an 8-point move unless they'd use the horse to snatch the 3 points for the road as well. Yeah, the question is, if yellow doesn't do anything over here, would blue even connect with a Dorito? Because they know full well that yellow would have 2 options to attack them and possibly even take over the city. Okay, love from the deck for Otto. Crucial monastery before his opponent got one. For the 9-point move, 8 points for this monastery, 1 for this one, 1 each for the closed ones. Basically, this here, maybe even this one. Trying to outdraw your opponent, or rather like this. Or you'd go for this, hope to connect and restrict blue to 1. Yeah, but he simply opts to give his monasteries the best chance of completion. So 2 straights still left and only 1 crossroad after blue snatched the quad. Yeah, and what'll blue do? Roll the dice for the 50-50? Or would you rather try and just close an 8-pointer? I mean, blue is ahead. Blue has the meeples in hand. It isn't really that likely if you'd play here that yellow would be able to take over this city completely. On the other hand, this here basically ensures that the best yellow could achieve over here would be a tied ruin. Yellow only has the 1 meeple. They score 2 points and create a possible field here with 1, 2, 3, 4 cities on it. And it would behoove blue to take this field somewhere before yellow does. Preferably over here, then trying to restrict yellow's meeple as well. And that seems to not work, as yellow quite likely will liberate this one. Maybe also meepling the cap. There are still more caps out there. Up top, I think yellow just has to roll the dice, have to hope to draw the horse, and blue will take this field here now. Also, there's only one straight left now to liberate yellow's monks. I would expect this one. Even if it's, as of now, only 2, they might very well be able to enlarge in this field. Yeah, Otto could have taken the field. But does this work? I mean, yeah, maybe his hope should have been to take this field, blue taking this one, yellow attacking, and then uniting these 3 fields. Basically wasting blue's farmer here. Yeah, I'm still here and think this is the move for blue. Sure, they could also just score 3 points. I mean, they are ahead more or less enough to outrun yellow the rest of the way. Problem is this situation at the bottom. Straight over here, crossroad, and yellow scores 7 and gets 2 meeples back. Yeah, and that's the problem. This farmer now is 2 squares away from blue's field, whereas it would have been only 1 if yellow had placed the farmer instead of the city meeple. So Lazy has, again, multiple options, of course. Don't think he'll go for the monastery, taking one of these fields, and preferably the one on the right side marked with the 1 should be it. If he opts for the monastery, could go here, but doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Okay, no, because you set up an option for yellow to attack and unite over here. You'd lose 6, yellow would gain 12. That's an 18-point swing. I mean, sure, with a lot of tiles, 4. So basically, all of yellow's remaining moves. Yeah, yellow goes for it, of course. There's still 1 tile to connect. That's the Dorito here. But blue just should be able to outscore yellow. They are now at +9. There's this 6-point field on the left side. trying to play against this farmer doesn't really make sense to me. Would just be wasting moves. So you could, of course, limit this restriction to a 50-50. But if yellow hits it, you just save them the one move and also give them a nice road. So, well, if you'd consider this, then definitely with the meeple, but I don't think it's necessary. Just take this one here. Maybe even over here to set up this road for you to take, because yellow needs the road pieces to connect with the farmer. Or this way. Or take the 6-point field. Yeah, that works as well. But actually, I like this setup at top a tad more. Oh, there is still a rose left. So yellow has 4 moves left, right? 1 to connect, 1 for the rose. So yeah, it might also be a good idea to just take this field here and play for the kill over here, or at least an option to reconnect there. Blue does neither, which I don't like, because it also takes away some desperate options to re-attack here. Not desperate. Could just use this one if the curve isn't present. Doesn't strike me as a good move. Doesn't accomplish a lot, except for giving this meeple 1 point and a better chance of completing the monastery. Yeah. Now, I mean, just gets complicated for blue here. Okay, blue restricts this one to a 50-50. At least it's the right 50-50, as yellow, of course, could use the straight next to the monasteries as well. Yellow connects. The only question for Otto should be whether to meeple on this one or not. I think not, as all tiles out there are immediate blocking tiles. The problem is this here is a -1 point move for now. But is there anything else if you are at -7 and there are 6-point fields and long roads lying around? So I don't think there is. He only has 2 moves left. Basically has to hope to hit the straight and the rose to then either close this 6-point city or this one. He doesn't go for the connection. And what's his winning condition then? Going over here, taking the 6-point field, scoring 2 points. Looks like it, but is this enough? It isn't. But would it have been enough with this one? I mean, I don't think so. Then blue takes a 7-pointer on the left side. Yeah, the horse was critical, Kyrillo. I just totally neglected this connection. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's the problem with this move, actually. Sure, if yellow goes here, they still need to draw the horse and the starting tile to connect there, but the straight. But then blue scores other points, so these 3, 6, -3. And in the end, either this 7-point road or one of the 6 points fields. So I think it was just a little too little and too late for yellow. And yeah, this farmer here, that definitely sucked. So the second goes to LazyBore. And we will get decider, but it's 19 UTC as well. So let's at least open the game of Erwin G and Santiblader in the second window. Even though I would expect them to complete their first 2 games while the third one between Nallerheim and LazyBore takes place, but we'll see. Kyrillo, did you mean this move here? So 1 or 2? Yeah. Yeah. So to me, this here was critical. Not meepling the farm was the main reason yellow didn't have better chances in the end. Okay. So 1. This one? Really? I don't think that really was bad, because if you get something, you could easily attack the city, well, or kill it. Okay, yeah, I'd have to concur. Both moves were critical in the respective stages of the game. So I won't comment on the left match, maybe just in the end, if we still have a lot of time on the clocks on the right side. And we still might be in the mid game or so. We'll see. So far, a good start for yellow. Scored a few points. Also have options for basically all city tiles. Otto even takes an early field, quite likely due to having a lot of green squares available. But then both these cities could very well die. And so I might consider this one, even though the restriction from the top would be more profitable to blue. But this here restricts the field on the right side way better than this at the top would ever be able to. Yeah, like this. Also, of course, yellow opening up this here, trying to go for the loop, creating more options to build the field. Blue starts to harass. Yellow's. Is it a city if it's only one tile? I don't know. Future city. But no straight to immediately harass this. And at least you won't get harassed by yellow with straightish pieces. But maybe leaving this option for you and not need to harass your own city at the same time could have been considered. And then there are things like this here, where yellow goes for a big ruin. I mean, I get this orientation because Otto didn't want to leave this one out there and didn't want to go for it himself due to this problematic city. On the other hand, this here restricts the field over here, or quite likely would. Any straight here, and it's basically shut down there. Yellow with monastery built up. Nice one at that. Would expect this one. Could also consider this here. It's a bit out there, but maybe. On the other hand, this here, if he doesn't go for it, there are so many ways to kill these 3 meeples and more or less win the game that he, in the end, opts for the safe approach. Yeah, and as Krillo says, monasteries, field meeple. Yeah, and blue builds up a secondary field, of course, a field they will take when they get the chance, and it might even be with tempo. A move that yellow quite likely will prevent now. Sure, it creates a monastery square, but the alternative, the worst outcome would be stuff like that. So in the end, I would expect the Rito to land there. Yep. Right. This, I mean, many folks would have just closed the city, but that would give better chances for yellow to close their monasteries. Also another cap on yellow's field, so basically improving yellow's situation. And yellow even added this one here. They were frightened of getting blocked into this dagger, which would have restricted the field severely. Then they just went for this 0-point move, although, I mean, 2 points to the city when closed. At this point, it's a +1 move because both monasteries got 1. And in the end, it's 3 points to yellow's field, while also giving them definitely way better chances to close these monasteries, which they desperately need. But why do you then go there? To protect. But do you really need to add the cap to the left side? Because once you continue, then the next harassment will take place. So for example, stuff like that here. Definitely consider if I were blue. Threatening this here, attacking this one, threatening the monastery. There's no splitter left, so these two will die together or in separate parts of this ruin. Also, maybe even the road monastery to kill here if necessary. Yeah, of course, with the meeple, that's for sure. But blue simply opts to score points or try to score points, which I think is a missed chance. Yeah, because now Otto just secures this here and also extends the field. At least one restriction there. If you're talking about the meeple Kyrillo, I'd say yes, with the meeple. There are still enough options to connect here, and blue has a lot of meeples. At this point, they need to start investing them. So now we go for this field. I mean, come on. It's a 9-pointer. It takes away best chances of yellow to complete that city still. Although that's rather unlikely anyway. Yeah, but this exchange over here led to another city on yellow's field, another cap with which quite likely will become a city on yellow's field, improving the situation of this rather adventurous farmer. And yellow has easy options to build up this city. Yeah, it's still alive. It's not a ruin yet. And also, they set up a 6-point road with the next curve. So blue might even need to give yellow the monks back. Unless they hope to outdraw yellow and just get all the curves. So to me, this looks like it would be a nice idea for blue to actually attack the field before this road closes. Yeah, maybe just take away this cap up top. Even add a meeple, why not? You want to draw the daggers anyway. And there aren't a lot of pieces yellow would use over here. These, for example, would always land there, but blue doesn't add a meeple. And if they don't get a cap to do so now, then yellow might. So to me, another mistake by blue. Just, I mean, 5 meeples in hand, less than 30 tiles to go. Don't be so stingy. There are permutations where you run into your opponent getting a curve, you getting I don't know what, and they claiming this 10-pointer on their field. Yellow could set up a 4-point loop here. Yeah, taking the field sounds better. With 3 triple cities still out there, I would expect blue to just close this and this time dump a farmer immediately, because there are still options to attack here, even with tempo, due to the remaining monasteries. Also, this is the penultimate dagger, only 1 left for yellow. And actually, these two together are playing at the same pace as Erwin and Santi, although that's quite likely due to Santi taking his sweet time on quite likely every move. Yeah, yellow wisely adds another city to their field. As blue, what do we do now? We are still at -10. Well, maybe we even need to go for this city. One option sure would be to take away these 9 points from yellow. But the extender is no help there. Yeah, not easy for yellow. Going here with a lot of caps for this option still left, gives blue an easy shot at closing this city and then even snatching a 6-point field. Maybe 3, but also killing the easiest field attack. Oh, nah, the easiest would be over here, actually. I don't think this works. That city quite likely won't close. Yellow gets the dagger. And it looks like this game here is slipping away from blue's grip, and that's, well, down to this move here. Yeah, I didn't even mention this, right? This here would have needed the same dagger yellow already needed on the right side, and therefore this definitely was a must. Okay, blue goes for the monastery. Connection here would be another 7 points. Yep, now the city is dead up top. There are only 2 road ends, but of course several curves left, which is what blue is going for, to connect this road while adding a farmer to tie yellow's 12-point field. 12-point field, I mean, these two quite likely wouldn't have made it onto the field, or, well, if they would, then this here would have been dead. So blue connects, yellow reattacks. And it goes downhill from there. What a shame, what a shame. Okay, he goes for the monastery, doesn't try, at least yet, to connect. I would expect yellow to play it safe and not allow this attack for 12. And at least take away the loop completions from this road. On the other hand, this would accomplish the same and might be better, actually. Yeah, great question, Vika. I don't know. Maybe. The problem is yellow has all the meeples, so this connection option, yellow could easily counter this way and then just take over the whole shebang. And if he goes here, well, then there are easy killing options available. 4. So starting tile, rose, and the dagger. Yeah, my money is on either of these two moves. And I think Otto could go for this one, because the other one gives blue options to roll the dice on a field and another city there, or take the city. Yeah, seems to be the best move in this situation. So even a rather shoddy tile in the end can help you under specific circumstances. And now LazyBore is at -4. Otto with a great chance to separate the fields. Not once and for all. I mean, there are still options to crawl around the left side. But the problem is there are also desperation ninjas available. Yeah, and his move makes sense. He doesn't care about this square. He cares about this attack, which at least is more likely, unlikely now, sorry. Because once blue places anything over here, this would give yellow the chance to harass this square. Although with the specific tiles still in a deck, the completion definitely would have good chances. In the other match, Erwin just on a roll. This is his, I think, 7th game in a row this CCL season. I remember correctly, he hasn't lost so far. Let me quickly check. Yeah, he's 6-0 now, 7-0. Crazy, crazy stuff. And that with 7-0, 20 minutes of thinking time. Others use that for one game. So back to our one at hand here. It's just annoying for blue. I mean, we could go for this. There are 3 tiles here. And at the cost of giving yellow 1 point. Yeah, maybe Vika, maybe. In the last match versus Globia, Erwin said he was, what was he saying? Smoothly drunk. And played a bit slower than usually. And maybe he goes for that feeling from now on. Yep, this would have worked. But doing it piecemeal by scoring a few points could work as well. And there is still this option available. And it's definitely not as profitable for yellow to just add an insurance farmer, because the score is so close that a farmer for effectively 0 points once blue connects here would definitely hurt their chances and quite likely would let them lose the game. So right now, an insurance farmer seems to be out of the question for yellow. They'd rather have to take care about this situation. The problem is there's still no connection. So going for a ninja here, double ninja, I don't see it happen. Doesn't make sense, at least not to me. There's not a lot else out there. Okay, he takes away this one, although there only would have been this ninja left, and with 2 crossroads, that really doesn't matter. Oh, and blue? What will blue do? There's still a nice road on the right side. They could also opt for this one, hoping to draw a crossroad to get 1 meeple back and meeple another 4-point road. That looks definitely like an interesting idea, at least. Of course, they could now go for the field attack. Although this way there'd be 1 move to kill the square available. This way looks way better. There's nothing to kill the square. The worst would be, actually this is just great. Look at it. All tiles that would restrict this square don't restrict it, because there are so many curvy plus field tiles left. So basically, this is almost a guaranteed connection. If we don't account for blocks from here, which still work, blue would need to draw the 3 city plus field tiles to not connect. And, that's the wrong orientation. but it works. But they also leave this one there, which gives back a reattacking option, which wouldn't have been the case this way. They get away with it. Volker, then please explain why this was the right orientation. Or did you mean this one? Which cap should block this connection? Oh, there was a vanilla? Okay, then this would have been a kill, yeah. There was a vanilla. Okay, then sorry, Lazy. My bad. And what about this one? This here? Or the one played in the game? I think at this point, this here would have been better. What are they? Plus 12, okay. Even this connection gives Otto 15, but then Blue just scores 5 points at the bottom. So it wouldn't have worked. Otto will connect up top for a 6-point difference. And Lazy just needs to score some points somewhere, right? Yeah, 5 points should do it. Yeah, yes way, Kyrillo, yes way. Wow. I mean, unbelievable. Left the door open here, pretty wide. Was down and came back. Wow. Yeah, that's Carcassonne for you. Carcassonne in a nutshell. Everything is possible. Okay, shall we take a look at this situation again? I don't think so. I mean, we've covered it. We said it all. Don't think there's anything we need to add, right? Or would you rather like to analyze this game? I mean, I don't mind. I'd be good with either one. So you decide, just let me know. I, for one, refresh this page here. Okay, it's not updated yet, but Lazy with 3 wins out of 4 matches and 7-3 should have secured a playoff spot. In some cases, if he would lose against Complex with 0-2, he might drop down below 12. But as of now, I think that's rather unlikely, as he had or has rather good tiebreakers after the +2, the game's difference. Otto, on the other hand, with 2 wins and 6-5, basically only needs to win the last one. 2-0 would be enough. 2-1 might be close then. Okay, at first Erwin says Volker, then let's go for Erwin. And then let's take a look at Otto's and of course LazyBore's third game afterwards again. Okay, what are we having? Close temporary score. Yeah, blue goes for stuff like that, which is easily killed. I mean, at least it's for now on a yellow field, which is pretty restricted here. Wow. He goes for the next restriction. Let me actually highlight the dead squares for now. So yeah, there should be no way for blue to lose this one. I mean, 3-1 dead in the middle, another yellow farmer stuck there. I think this here should be an easy kill for blue. And this might also not come back, and then you just play with 3-1 meeples the rest of the way. Without a care in the world, yellow doesn't mind giving, blue doesn't mind giving yellow chances to get another meeple. Okay, if you think that's wise, how about at least some restriction over here? Maybe better like this, because that's the same piece yellow would need at the bottom to get a meeple back. And options to kill this are definitely more plenty than the other way around. Maybe even not. Yeah, sorry, just too lazy to check which of these options would have been better, but doing nothing definitely isn't. I mean, it's all fine and dandy for blue to go after points, but what happens if you don't get these meeples back? And yellow, well, would get this one back. They could score quick points. They could take away your field up top. Here we go. Blue's road is that now 2, so at least, and yellow, oh boy, goes for this one. Would expect now at least this restriction to 2 cows left, and of course threatening the kill. Yeah, here we go. Thank you, blue, says yellow, for still giving me a chance to get a meeple back. Now at least this one will be killed. And in the end, it'll be why, oh why. As 1 point next to your monastery with Okay, a good chance to get this meeple back. More valuable than killing yellow's monastery immediately. I don't understand this. What? Ah, this is a connection. Yeah, makes sense. And here we go. There's the winning chance for yellow. Just take over the field here. And now we'll see blue scrambling. Maybe this one? 2 vanillas, 1 curve left. Maybe they just go for the road completion while also setting up options to attack the field there. Yeah, pretty nonchalant way for blue here. We'd see whether this works out for them in the end. Because once yellow connects here, blue will be down by 6 for now. Okay, after this one, only 2. So looks like blue is playing for a fieldless win. But they definitely cut it close due to Erwin getting quick points here. Six-point field, and then it's done. But why? Why? So the first lost game for Erwin. It took him 8 games. We'll see whether this will continue in the next one or whether he regains and starts a new streak. So quick bathroom break for Santi. Now let's take a quick look at the stats. Okay, a lot of roads there for Santi. Definitely not the best draws in the world here. Again, Erwin with his usual 2 and something minutes. Santi taking definitely more time, but also that's with a normal time format. So 2 minutes something plus increment. 12 minutes is okay. It's not slow, not pretty fast, totally fine. But yeah, I mean, in the end, it's 12 points, but it definitely wasn't necessary to cut it that close. If he had just killed the square, basically would have been game over. Playing more against this monastery. And then this here would have been yellow's last resort. And I'm actually not sure when this situation here started, whether blue could have killed that earlier. Let's take a quick look. Let's check. 116 is the connection move. Yeah. So there were options for blue, quite likely. No, there weren't actually. There weren't options for blue to kill. They just set it up and yellow immediately got the connection piece. Yeah, but still, these situations here could have been handled more assertive. Okay, as long as Santi still on a break, let's take a look at the standings. So as I mentioned, Erwin, after 7 games won, he just lost one. So at worst, he'd be at 3-2 match wins and 7-4 game wins in the end, which is quite likely to be enough to reach a playoff spot, especially considering this mushy middle here in the Earth League. Santi, on the other hand, is further down, and now he is 4-5, so he could rise to 5 games win, 5 games won and 5 games lost. 2 matches won and lost, which would give him the chance of reaching the playoffs. Quite likely he'd need to beat Lord Terryclough in week 5 with a 2-0, but at least that's one chance. Losing today, well, and then he is out of contention for good, as 2 wins out of 5 matches just, well, for all likelihood won't be enough. There are specific circumstances where this could work out, but I'm not sure whether it would be theoretically still possible at this point in time. Yeah, Erwin threatening over here, but Santi gets the perfect counter move. Goes for this, okay. Doesn't want to give this option to yellow, but it's also rolling the dice on drawing anything over here before yellow restricts this square. Okay. Blue with an adventurous farmer there. Restrictions like this could happen, restricting over here, and then it might just die with 6 points. Actually, a nice idea by blue. And if I'm yellow, I just go here. Actually, I mean, the upside, closing this one, I'd prefer over giving blue 3 outs. Not just close this road, but also get 4 additional points. No meeple. 1 dagger gone. Blue pre-connects these fields. Once the dagger hits, they merge. Yellow doesn't even meeple this cap, just wants to unite all the fields. I don't think wasting points like that is definitely necessary at this point. I'd rather take these points and attack the field later. In some cases, blue doesn't immediately go there, and I could just snatch this one. Definitely not ideal for blue. So once they add something to their city, they endanger their monastery, and there's only one starting tile left. So maybe just start a new city at the bottom, threatening yellows. So blue needs both daggers by now. Okay, monastery, but if you have a situation like that, maybe this would have worked as well. Even if it enlarges the field, which, yeah, okay, that's definitely not in blue's interest with these two situations. It doesn't look great for the Argentinian. Even if he's technically still ahead on the virtual scoreboard, that might change very quickly, and definitely will change quickly once the fields connect. Yeah, do you even bother protecting over there? He says no. Having can't kill. Why? I mean, it's way more likely that blue gets a straight to restrict yellow's monastery than if you'd play the other way around, that blue ever would use a dagger here to restrict. I mean, they need it there, and they should defend. Thinking about this one. Maybe. Maybe yellow feared that blue would take this with tempo. But I don't know. I don't know, man. So blue protects their city. Yellow advances the quad city. Blue would love to get a curve. Doesn't happen. And now the curve happens, and this one here is dead. That's very good news for blue. Not so good news is this cow, which this horse, which doesn't do a lot for them. Scoring 2 points is not great, because it would be in yellow's interest to kill this as long as they have the meeple majority. Yeah, and Erwin laments his choice over here, but actually, I mean, there were only 5 tiles to immediately kill the city. So the risk was rather minuscule. Sure, there were other options for blue to protect the attacking square, but chances for yellow were quite good to make it out alive here. On the other hand, if he just waits until he gets one Dorito, well, blue could restrict it the same way. And then you need the dagger there, plus a fitting cap, preferably in reverse order, so getting a starting tile first and later the dagger, of course. Yeah. And that's what Santi says. I think that's true. At least that would be my quick assessment here. Okay. An interesting choice when you already need some city caps with road. But I mean, if you try to build it this way, there are still road Doritos out there. Why not? On the other hand, there are also cows here, and this would basically break the city for good. Needing the same dagger that desperately needed on left side as well. Okay. Quite likely we'll see a protection. We don't. Well then, this is a 50-50, only one starting tile left. But at least blue finally gets another meeple into their hands, and yellow immediately takes away a chance to attack here while also using a dagger. Still no love for blue, but at least now they get the other one. And should meeple the road, actually. Yeah, still curves and crossroads left. Yeah, and by now, Santi could even consider killing this square and hoping to draw the dagger, but not using it here. He's up 16. There is another field here. He has this one. The city is dead. There are no two starting tiles left. Actually, shame he just got the one. So it doesn't help him anymore. What do you do then? Could set up a kill here. But the risk, of course, is... No, actually, yellow would use it there. So the risk is not great. And he even takes a 6-point field. Yellow gets the dagger immediately. Wow. Yeah. And another tough question for Santi. So there's still this dagger left. But he could kill this square now. That plus 21. But if then yellow would get the dagger for 4 points, -2 to blue's road, and 9 from blue's field here, that would be an 11-point swing. So rendering this move here basically useless. So it's tricky. Taking the monastery would be one option, but it's a -2 points move. So maybe I just take the 3 points here, add another cap to my field, let yellow do my connection, my monk liberation. They want to connect the fields. I don't. Okay, this one is dead. No options to attack the field here anymore. And Santi might just drop this cap there and maybe even meeple a field. Taking the cap this way doesn't really work, as the block would be incoming. Yeah, okay, he goes this way and takes the field, but actually don't think that's the right choice. The cap would have been safe up top. On the left side, it isn't. Okay, yellow adds another city to the main field, adds another farmer on a secondary field there, hoping to grow this, of course. Doesn't look like there will be any more cities shared between these two fields. So not the biggest problem for blue here. And at plus 14, okay. Gutsy with your last meeple when there are quick point options available. I don't like this at all. Even if it tries to take away the secondary field. Just dump the 1 point here. Would consider this, but then yellow might re-attack. So I would have just taken the 1 point, or I don't know. Are there still straights? No. Maybe stuff like this here, taking away the option from yellow to snatch the city, or at least complicating this by a lot. But nonetheless, it seems to work out in the end. Yeah, blue even gets their dagger finally. Even if it only scores 2 points plus what they'll get on their last move. Which turns out to be a field over here as... What? I think BGA just skipped the move. Yeah. So, the unbeaten Romanian isn't unbeaten anymore. Just lost his first match. But again, at 7 game wins to 2 game losses, the playoffs are definitely secured for Erwin. Okay, so well, let's take another look at the standings. So Santi is at 2-2, 5-5, still in the mix here, right next to Alexei. And in the last week, he has a shot, even though I'd slightly favor Lord Terrycloth in this matchup. And Erwin will I would expect Q to beat Erwin quite decisively, but it's still Carcassonne. Let's say Chinese World Champion should be the 70% favorite to win this match, maybe even more. Let's see. So, are you folks still there? Should we take another look at Nallerheim versus LazyBore game 3 and check where it went off the rails or not? Silence sounds like not. Was even later? Okay. Something's off with the log, sorry. So Otto has the, yeah, okay, we were right there. I was just wrong. Yeah, again, this situation here. Okay, by then yellow wasn't blocked or restricted to the dagger on the right side yet. But yeah, I'm still going here every day of the week. I still don't get why blue didn't go there. But yeah, let's check. Why did they win nonetheless? One, there's this restriction, which came just in time. So actually, I think I should be able to move this somehow. Yeah, but I don't know how actually. So let's keep it at that. Yeah, another reason was being able to close a 12-point city later. Drawing shielded tiles always helps. Yeah, by the way, one option I didn't mention was this one. Yellow could have attacked this field immediately, but that's so dangerous and reckless. Curves restrict this here. Crawling the other way around with the road monastery, yeah, works in 5 of 100 games or so, and then you just depend on drawing the daggers, and you already need the dagger on the right side anyway, so attacking the field over here is out of the question. Yeah, again, with 5 in hand and still 2 daggers left, I wouldn't risk yellow taking and closing this one. Yeah, and that's what yellow was able to reap here after it entered this curve there. So 8-point move, getting 2 meeples back, blowing the game open here. Yeah, so to me, the most crucial move in this game. was blue not using this here, no matter what happened afterwards. Although this one, I mean, I don't really like that monastery a lot, but it sets up this attack, and actually these 6 monastery points are okay. The option to attack the field would become game deciding in the end. I'm not sure what you are now talking about, Volker. Okay. And yeah, this, I mean, could have even considered to take this one now and threaten this. Why not? Would have been maybe the stronger move. Sure, the risk of catching a triple city somewhere, definitely it's out there, but there are so many caps. To me, it looks more likely that you'd at least be able to close one of these cities before yellow would be able to interfere in a meaningful way. Of course, the top one would be restricted rather easily. Stuff like that here might happen. And you could lose the meeple pretty quickly there. On the other hand, if yellow restricts, well, at least the field might in some cases be dead up top. But yeah, playing it safe. And you still have chances. And there are still a lot of options, especially with this field here, with yellow's blocked or rather restricted meeple. You should have the meeple majority, and you are only down 9 after closing your city. So yeah, looks fine. And then he took the city up top. Yeah, totally okay. Oh yeah, this situation where he went for the road. I mean, here you, of course, expect yellow to restrict your city and later kill this. So adding the horse there just basically says, okay, I'm fine. I'll create a ruin there. I just dump stuff at the top, which I can't use anywhere else. And taking the road should work in a lot of cases. If you, I mean, even if yellow takes this and tries to restrict it, there are so many caps with road left that they can't use a move like that. I mean, the worst restriction actually would be with a field side to the top, which then takes away the road ends from blue. So yeah, I do understand blue's move, and I also get why they didn't close this 3-point road here. They saw the danger of this field here. They knew they wouldn't need to later on, or quite likely wouldn't need to attack this field again. Not again. But after this one, I mean, yellow is at +13. They have 2 meeples more in hand than blue. Basically, blue will only get this one back, and that's not even that likely. Just crazy stuff here. Yeah, also the right restriction, going after 2 spaces at once. So now we are tied. And did yellow immediately go here? I think so, right? Yeah, they did. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I get this. You hoped to close this one. Maybe meeple the farm immediately, not even take the 4 points for the city. And then you'd have multiple options to go from there. On the other hand, dropping a farmer while keeping the cap here would maybe allow you to drop another farmer earlier. On the other hand, that's the sane approach. So yeah, it still is okay. Okay, Volker suggests killing the monastery. Yeah, actually, why not? The reason why not is there aren't that many road pieces left. And in some cases, or no, not in some cases, in many cases, blue might need road pieces up top, either to go for their loop or the field attack, because by now yellow's field is worth 12 points. Hmm. Yeah, that's actually an interesting question. On the other hand, if yellow doesn't go here, doesn't set up options to score points, the worst that would happen would be blue connecting up top, closing the road, closing the monastery, maybe taking away this one here. Stuff like that could happen. Yeah, I mean, I'd be very reluctant to use a juicy cap like that just to kill the monastery. Yeah, I know, Volker. Sure, if blue goes here, yellow would like to counter, but again, in some cases, although it's unlikely, but if blue gets the right pieces, the right permutations, they could take away this option. But yeah, I'd love to hear Otto's thoughts about this move. So Otto, if you see this later on, please tell me or tell us what you think about this one. I mean, I get that he didn't do it. Yeah. We've talked long about this one. I think that's the right call there. Takes away blue's best option. But the problem, of course, is after not blocking the monastery, blue gets 2 of basically 5 tiles in a row and gets the precious second meeple back. And then Otto gets the cow. What did he do with it? I don't remember. Okay, he tried to take away this direct approach here. Yeah, that was a fine move as well. Blue added 3 points to their field and the option to add this cap to their field as well. Yellow with the starting tile, I think did connect because there are only 2 pieces left to go there. Left the cap empty, as well. There's an empty cap for these 2, and the roses could be used to score 3 points, for example. Anyway, so doesn't really matter. Although with the twin cap still out there, maybe meepling the cap and having the chance to set up another 6-point field could have been lucrative. On the other hand, when you already have fields to fight for, why build up another one? Yeah, totally fine move by blue, of course. Yeah, this here, I think I've sketched this earlier. Yellow can't really go for this because blue then just connects, scores a point for the monastery and 3 for taking away this one from yellow's small field over here. And then just needs to outscore yellow the rest of the way with 1 more meeple in hand. It should be possible. So what else to do with a straight? I definitely don't want to play against this connection. That doesn't help you. You want to keep this option open to share blue's ruin there. Don't need to take away anything here. I'd rather hope to draw a cap to score these quick points yourself. Chances are definitely good. I mean, there are 2 caps under normal circumstances. In most cases, you should get 1. Yes, blue situation here. Yeah, and it's, yeah, I totally missed the vanilla. I don't know why, actually. So if blue would have used this one, which I said would have been the right call, well, I would have been wrong. Because this is, of course, a kill. So they went for the safe approach. And the worst that could have happened would have been limitation to a crossroad and therefore a 50-50. Yeah, but it didn't. So finally, yellow is able to snatch this cap. Pays to wait in this case. So blue's connection now. They use this one, which I didn't like, as it sets up these options, but yeah, it's still the case. So the cow kills. The Dorito would allow a counter move, but then yellow doesn't need to connect, and they just take the 3 points from their field and don't give any more points to blue's monastery, of course. On the downside, of course, is they need to draw the dagger to connect, or no, this would be out. Yeah, there's no connection over here left. And this here would work as well. Whereas with the other orientation, I only see this option for yellow to attack there. Well, and in both orientations, this here would work as well. Yeah, I'm still convinced this here would have been the better option. The 4-point road, which could be taken with the rose, doesn't really matter if you can score these 4 city points anyway. And then Otto had 3 moves. And how to counter this? Well, okay. Is not possible, not with any option here, because either your opponent gets the 1 piece to connect, or they get to kill with all other pieces, and that is true no matter the orientation of this tile. So at least this field attack with the cow doesn't work, or should not work. Yeah, but what else shall you do if you are yellow here? You are -8. You only have 2 moves left. And basically, whatever you try to set up to attack the field could be countered by your opponent, because there are only city tiles out there. So sure, you could go here and hope to, I don't know, get this dagger to connect with the rose, but well, your opponent just gets something to immediately restrict this option, or I mean, it just does not work. In some cases, they need to take this themselves, though. attacking platform the field downside to create at the triangle. In which space, please? Five, 3. 5, 3 would be over here. You mean -5, -3, likely, right? Yeah, that works. Because in this case, you'd set up 2 options. And it is a 15-point field. Yeah, well spotted, Volker. Well spotted. So, yeah, let's check. That's pretty useful. So what happens there? Well, the twin caps are no good to attack. The Dorito would grant, at least as long as the rose is still out there, this unblockable attack. If the rows were gone by then, they could use this attack, which also would be unblockable because the dagger is still present. Yeah, sounds actually like a very good idea. This rose, well, the same. And the dagger doesn't work. So basically, there are at least a few permutations that would allow an attack for yellow there. I think Volker's rationale is correct. So what Otto did in the end was to attack Blue City at the top for basically 6 points with 2 moves. The problem though is there's a 4-pointer to take over here. Although that 4-pointer in some cases doesn't work, I think. Let's check actually. So let's say yellow goes for this one. Blue scores 4. Then blue would be at plus 12. And the top field is now worth 15. So yellow could attack and connect while blue just gets this one. Yellow scores 4 additional points, so yellow scores 4 and 15. And blue has the Dorito, well, basically to score 5 points somewhere, right? But this leads to a yellow win. So I'm not convinced that this is the only option, but I am convinced that it would have been better than this one up top, and that's what Volker mentioned actually, or meant. If yellow attacks there, they need to get the Dorito, but this only nets them 6 points. And if they get the Dorito, blue is guaranteed to net the next 4 points there. And yellow doesn't get any chances to attack field because they only have one move left, and they might just score 5 points somewhere. But blue might as well. And even if not, doesn't matter. They have a lead of 8 points. Plus 4 is 12. Minus 11 is still plus 1. Yeah, so looks to me like this here never wins. And that's what Volker said, right? Yeah, he did. So this just doesn't win. Let's think about it. Any chance for yellow? I actually don't think so. This here seems to be the move. Hoping that blue, I don't know, get what, because they could score 4 points with all of these. But 4 points at the risk of setting up a field attack. Although, no, this doesn't set up a field attack. This would only give yellow this option to attack the field. But in that case, we have 4 points for blue for the road, an additional 2 points if yellow connects here. So 4 blue points plus 2 blue points. And then we have this field in yellow's possession for 15. Blue has 8 on the scoreboard. And then they just do something. What do they get? They'd get this one. Okay, they could score 2 up top. There's a field somewhere. There's a field somewhere. 3 points here. So another 3. And that's enough to win the game. Yep. Okay. I'm convinced. This here was the move. But does it win yellow the game? So they connect somehow and get 15 points with 2 moves. They have 2 meeples in hand, so when they connect, they should be able to score a 2-point road. So that's 17. Blue already has 8 and only needs to tie the game. So blue needs to score 9 points with 2 moves remaining. Again, there are 4 or 5 points there. So 5 here, 4 for the city, 1 for the monastery. And then they just score 4 points with the loop road, which should then end in a tie. yeah, looks like at least just quickly checking this one, I don't see a permutation which would allow yellow to outrun blue. There is one. If yellow attacks this, gets the rose, might even be a shielded Dorito, and it is. Actually, let's switch these to shielded. Yeah, we go shielded Dorito. So that would be a 20 points combination for yellow versus 9 up top for blue. 10 actually. They'd score a 5-point road on the right side if they happen to get the twin caps first and then this one. So 20 yellow, 10 blue, that would be enough for yellow to win the game. And then the only question is whether blue should just take away this one. If they get the twin caps, they could use this move. But then there'd at least be this option for yellow to still win the game, drawing the dagger. Because blue won't score 7 points with the Road Dorito. Yep, okay. To sum up, this here would have been the move for yellow, which would have gotten them at least some chances to still win the game. But that's definitely not an easy find. After they went for the city connection up top, at least I didn't find anything for them to still win the game. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome, Volker, and thanks for suggesting this one. I mean, that's definitely not easy to find and definitely tricky to assess correctly. Not sure about Nallerheim's clock at this point in time. Actually, I mean, why not check? It's so late, it doesn't matter if I waste another minute or not. So, yeah, okay. That's the problem right there. He was down at 2 minutes 20 or something. So let's check. Nallerheim, yeah, 2 minutes 17. So finding this, which took us, I don't know, 20 minutes to explain at least half decently, within 2 minutes, definitely not easy. On the other hand, assessing the situation up top, that this was very unlikely to still give him winning chances, might have been possible. But even if you came to this conclusion, then finding the alternative, which would still give you, I don't know, 10, 15, 20% winning chance, that's a tough ask with only this year left on the clock. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, there's another game running. Well, let's take a look. or not. Oh, the first one was done a minute ago. Then let's add this here. Not Santiblader. Maybe I should just copy the stuff. And then let's take a look at the second one once it starts. No tournaments, so regular games. Maybe they just take a quick break. Well, I'll take a quick break as well. And maybe I should indicate on GG that I'll be covering the rest of this match as well. If I only could find the match. Let's check. Have they started the second? And they have. Okay, looks like a rather quick pace. King Didi with a nice setup here. Yellow with monasteries, blue with the early farm. And in the meantime, let me quickly check the tournament standings of these two. So Viv is at 2 match wins. One versus Vega Orion and Krishna, and last week he lost versus CT with 5-3 game wins. And King Didi lost in the first week against me with 1-2. Then a second week 1 versus Fanatic Lime 2-0. Third week 1 versus LazyBore with 2-1. So both at 2 match wins and 5-3 game wins. How did this happen here? I don't get this. Okay, I still don't get it, but maybe it's just too late for me. What counts is this here up top. The points for now favor the Australian. And as it quite likely will become a huge field, we've dropped second and a third farmer even. Both though prone to being shut out from, at least in this field here. And I would expect another farmer somewhere, rather soonish. So restriction to the rows here. 2 were left in the deck. 1 was just drawn by blue. Yellow creates an option to crawl around here, and that also might be this one available. There is the next farmer, dropped by yellow, knowing full well that this field here will be decisive. It's a potential 24-pointer by now, and there are still loads of caps to come. So the most crucial piece of them all will be the rows, as that's the one to grant yellow a field access here and also give them the meeple back, whereas blue, except for this monastery, has all their meeples still available or already on the farm. So blue should definitely kill the square if they get a chance. Same goes for this one, of course. Although kill here isn't possible yet. They still score, which shouldn't work. I think the field is just too big for them to be able to win fieldless here, but at least they take care of this yellow monastery. Yellow takes away this small field, which blue could have taken to attack yellow there. This is dead now, with blue getting the second rows as well, or the third one, actually, the second after this restriction happened. And now blue's chances are just great. Even outrunning might work, so they hope to kill this square. There's no dagger left, there's no rows left, so the only protection option that yellow has is the one and only boss, else they of course would immediately connect if they get stuff that would secure this square here. But why would they do this? So indirect protections might work. Yep, here we go, indirect as well, but this is a kill. There's still this one available though. But there are options for blue to attack the field. Again, maybe? Yeah, at least over here. Curve, and then vanilla or twin caps to connect. But they are only at +12. That's definitely not enough. So if yellow's farmer here connects, blue would lose 24 points. Yellow would lose these 6, so that's an 18-point swing. Another setup. Yellow hoping to claim this cap, which blue definitely should do now. Also setting up an option to attack the field upon completion of that city. Yeah, yellow can't really counter. I mean, going here hoping to draw all 4 Doritos doesn't really make sense. Maybe this one here works to take away at least some connection options. Nonetheless, yellow goes for this. Blue connects, drops a farmer. Yeah, and now even the 18 points for yellow aren't enough anymore. Blue drops another farmer, doubling down on this attack, which also might work on the left side as well. You could try this here, but they go for the immediate connection. I mean, yeah, they need to hope this works. Yeah, blue should connect on the left side because then they would be more or less guaranteed to connect on the right side or at the top as well. In the end, it does not matter. They get the monastery to score the evil hamster. They even get to take the field down, and boy, what a rout. Has anyone ever seen Viv lose by a score like that? Wow. I mean, could have prevented this, actually. So would have been more precise to at least kill this connection. But in the end, it doesn't matter. A loss is a loss. Yeah, more roads for this. Not ideal. In the end, doesn't matter. If he would have gotten one of the roses in time, his chances quite likely would have been way better. So then, on to the decider here. Please don't play so fast, guys. Let me catch up. So 4 points for blue, monastery for yellow. Blue starts a new road. Yellow does the same. Blue with the road up top. Yellow dumps the quad. Blue starts a new city, restricting, threatening later yellow's monastery. Yellow with the next monastery, and then this one by blue. Not ideal, but of course, if you get twin caps at the precise point in time when you need them, it sometimes just works. Yeah. Sacrificing the vanilla works there, just kill the meeple. What is happening here now? Blue tries to build this up. Yellow immediately attacks. One splitter is gone. Another one is still out there. But lands in yellow's hands. Blue just equalizes this one. And will now, hopefully, just wait for yellow to continue the road. Else, blue will use their meeple majority. This looks to be the first time one of them thinks more than 5 seconds about a move in this game. Might be tempting to go here, to try and play against this one with 3 regular monasteries being gone. Not sure this orientation works better. There are still 3 daggers here, so a restriction over here wouldn't be that severe, but this here is definitely annoying. And this farmer is sure a very nice touch. So even if yellow gets this meeple back, well, at least blue would have this field here, which quite likely would expand. Okay. Blue takes this cap, scores 0 points, reduces the value of this farmer by quite a lot. Doesn't strike me as ideal. Yellow either would go for this or could contain blue's field. I'd like, they only have the 1 meeple in hand. Okay, well then they can't really meeple the road. Yeah, this sounds like a good approach. Taking away the easy attack of this juicy 12-point city. Yeah, it sets up options, but really waste a vanilla like this? I don't know. I mean, come on, then go here, take this cap, and you have options to attack the city. And if blue goes for this, it might work, but if it doesn't, it might lose them the game. It could be their second wasted meeple after this farmer. And it's quite likely that yellow will be successful and liberate the monastery up top, and that might have been a better move there, even though if yellow would have been able to thwart this attack. Okay, yellow is really antsy, wants to get a meeple back. Not convinced this is ideal though. Yeah, nice continuation for blue, threatening to kill this monastery. Yellow can't do anything about it. Just gets a meeple back. And blue kills the monastery for good. This here opens up an attack. And with 2 meeples in hand, both of them could go for this 50-50 connection. Blue's biggest problem right now is this meeple. There is no splitter left, so any Dorito or triple city would immediately kill this one by extension. Blue opts for the safe approach and just kills this option. A meeple would have been a nice touch there. There are so many options for this loop. And if you meeple there, you could try to take the loop and afterwards take a field maybe. That would be pretty efficient. And efficiency is still necessary here as blue is down 4 points. And once the monastery here hits, then yellow will go there. Or maybe not. I mean, there are potential cities to help out blue's farmer. So yeah, with 2 now, it's not a foregone conclusion to use this monastery. Well, we'll see. So loop is killed. Also place it safe there, drops the cap in such a way that there's only one piece out there to claim the 4 points. There are still options with this city here. If someone would place something here, then an attack would make sense. So for example, if blue were to take these 3 points, then an attack could happen, giving a 50-50 to be successful. And would you look at that? It's just like I sketched it. But does yellow go for this? I mean, it's not the biggest and juiciest feature in the world. The shielded cow is gone, so I don't think this is the move. It's a 50-50. It doesn't score a lot. This here, by the way, is a nice idea by yellow, taking away some options from blue to score a city while continuing the road up top. In the end, I think yellow might just start a new city here. Unless blue immediately gets a triple city tile, that's a rather safe one. Still loads of caps of all varieties out there. Well, the biggest problem actually would be an immediate equalization by blue, because there's no splitter left and only a select few Doritos to get the meeples back. Oh, but yellow in the end opts for this one. Okay, so we've rolled the dice on the cow. Now he has 2 high impact tiles, although monastery isn't that high impact for yellow. Looks by now even way more high impact for blue. Scoring 8 minus 2, but plus 6, so 12 points for blue. But giving a meeple back to yellow, so will depend on timing, and timing was just great for blue there. Maybe meeple is exactly because of these two daggers still out there. I mean, it's only 2 daggers out of 20 tiles, 2%, 10% chance, but 10%, 10%. Yeah, I like that monastery. 4-point road next to it, 6-point field next to it. Blue has the meeples in hand, can now even, could protect, they don't. Okay. This I don't like at all. Extender and your city is dead. Yeah, blue can't defend, and will they go for this move now? They don't, which is at this point in time quite likely the right choice. Why would you give your opponent a meeple back if you don't need to? But the 12 points, I don't know. This time with the meeple on the road. And now it's a 9-point field. This city is dead, and this is blue's field. They don't take the field, they are greedy. They take 2 road points. Well then, I think yellow has to take the field now. They just have to roll the dice here. And he even does so, threatening to add 2 more caps to it. Wow. Yeah, right choice. Take this field, threaten the connection, which yellow will now block. But at least if yellow then hits, whoops, the cow, it wouldn't really score them a lot because both of blue's fields would gain 3 points. So if this gets closed, it would score 12. Right now it's a 4-2. So that's a +10, but -6, so it's just a 4-point move for yellow. Didi sets up another cap on one of his fields. And if he hits that, it should be game winning. With the Dorito, which was very valuable, as that would have added 4 points to blue, but drawing the cow seals the deal as well. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is another upset. Yeah, do what you want. 4 points, okay, it works. So the Australian wins versus the French master with a top rating for base Carcassonne below 900. Let's see whether there will be any post-mortem analysis or not. Yeah, I think that is a correct assessment. And it was a bit too quick for my taste in the early going, but yeah. I mean, the right sacrifice at the right point in time, not going for stuff like this here. The one thing I'd really have to criticize for blue here is not taking this field. I mean, that's just too greedy and open up the door for yellow again. So let's take another look at that situation. Why don't I look before I go back 115? Yeah, I mean, did he know? Did he have no meeples in hand? Except for the one? Okay, he had the one meeple, so if he goes here, he'd still have one in hand. And be at +10 with options to marginal options to get the monastery meeple back, no options to get this one, and well, of course, if it closes the city on the left side, yeah, as well. On the other hand, the way King Didi played this, it was forcing yellow's hand. Yellow had to take the field then, because with two meeples in hand, blue would on the next turn, and with two caps left for high impact moves, that definitely wasn't on blue's plan here, on yellow's plan. Yeah, but I think still you meeple this one. On the other hand, I'm not sure actually. Problem with meepling is if yellow draws the quick point tiles and later on attacks this, they could reasonably outscore you. Yeah, but that's for someone else to analyze. I'm done here. The one thing I actually wanted to check is tomorrow's games, and there will be at least these four here. I'll be covering Krishna versus Mikhail at 8 UTC. Alexei will cover Hotly Assetos, and quite likely someone will cover Gladki Alex versus Dr. Zahan as well. Maybe Otto will take this one. Else I might. We'll see. Yeah, Volker, go for it. If you need my support, let me know. And well, is this updated? It is updated. So the Australian with 3 wins out of 4 matches looks to be the dark horse here. I mean, I had my difficulties with them. They definitely don't play perfect, but would I consider them to be the favorite against Mosopal? I don't know. I mean, proof is in the pudding, as they say. They won 3 matches, so why shouldn't they win against Mosopal as well? These Australians. And even if not, a 1-2 loss versus Mosopal might just be enough to secure a playoff spot. With O2, it definitely will be way more tricky. With, on the other hand, has to play against Phosphate. Wow, that will be a banger. Let's check. Phosphate is over here. I mean, they have to win 2-0 to be pretty safe against White Guru. Else, this could be the game of round 5. With both being at maybe 2 match wins and desperately needing to win this 1 match. Either way, it will be interesting just because of Whiff's situation alone. You have the achievement, Volker. You are a master. Let's put this on stream. I didn't know that. Let's check. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of folks in this season's Champions League currently rated below 600, which also peaked slightly above 700. So why shouldn't you? Okay, thanks at least to you for staying all this time, and all the others who tuned in and tuned out and maybe tuned in again. I'll see you around. Time for me to say goodnight. Bye-bye.